everybody, Danielle from Extraordinary Mommy. I had a story I wanted to share with you. Sometimes I think it's easier to talk about these things than it is to write about them, so here I am. My experience yesterday was me apologizing for being a mom, and I don't think that I needed to. The more I thought about it, the more I decided I wanted to talk and see what you guys thought. So here's the situation. About a month ago, my husband and I joined a new gym. When we joined that gym, one of the reasons that I liked this particular place was that they had a neat, clean kids club, and I knew my kids would be safe while they were there, or at least that's what I believed. The very first day we were there, when my 2-year-old son came out, he said, "Mommy, that teacher grabbed my arm. It hurt." Cooper is 2. He has a pretty good vocabulary, but not perfect. But it's one of those things that I felt I definitely needed to go back in and ask about. So I walked in. The girl I ended up talking to was pretty young. And I said, "I had a question. Is there any chance that my son got into a little trouble while he was here?" Because I thought maybe someone grabbed his arm to pull him off another child, or who knows, he's a boy. I don't put it past him to be slightly aggressive. And she said, "No, not that I know of." And I said, "Well, here's the reason I'm asking." And I explained. And she just kind of went, "No," and rolled her eyes. And so I said, "Okay, well, thanks." And I walked out. But I didn't feel entirely comfortable. So the next day I brought him back. And this was about 3 weeks ago. I brought him back into the gym, and when I went to go pick him up, that very same young girl who'd kind of rolled her eyes at me looked at me and said, "Cooper has a hitting, kicking, biting, scratching, pinching problem, and when I told him he needed to stop, he said no, and you can't make me because I can get my mom very mad at you." Now, here's the thing. I said, "You do realize that my son is 2, not 12, right? I certainly know that it's possible my son could hit. Maybe he kicked somebody. Maybe he was walking into someone. I know that it's not possible for him at 2 to look at someone and say, 'No, and you can't make me, and here's why.'" So when I said that back to her, she didn't respond, and she ended up walking away. So I asked a couple of the other girls, and they said that Cooper had been walking into her a little bit. Cooper does walk into people. He likes to just kind of body check you. I don't have an explanation for it. I kind of wish he didn't do it, but he's 2. And had she said to me, "Danielle, Cooper has a kicking problem, he has a hitting problem," I would have apologized immediately and asked Cooper what happened and made him apologize. But it was so frustrating to me to know that while Cooper may have some type of a behavioral problem, which I've never experienced before, but someone was lying to me. So I left the gym, and I stewed about it, and I stewed about it, and I stewed about it. And we didn't end up going back for a couple of weeks because we were on vacation and the kids were sick. I went back yesterday, and I asked one of the girls there if that particular girl was going to be working, and she said yes, but she suggested that I go ahead and speak to one of the managers, and I did. But while I was talking to the manager, I kept saying, "But I swear I'm not one of those super protective moms, and I really do want to address this." And you know what? I don't need to apologize. The bottom line is I know somebody lied to me about my child. And I have every single right, when I am putting my child's safety in someone else's hands, to question anything and everything they are doing, within reason. I don't consider myself obnoxious. I don't assume that my child never hurts anybody, but I do need to know that he is safe. So I kind of wanted to ask what you guys think, because I did really feel like I was tiptoeing while I was talking to this manager, like, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I don't want to be an overprotective mom, and I don't want to be a mama bear, but the truth of the matter is, I think I do want to be a mama bear. I do want to stand up for my child, and I do think it's important that I said something." So I don't necessarily expect anything to happen. I don't want her to lose her job, but I do want to know that my son is safe. What do you guys think?